Hey everybody, Casey here. And today I wanted to talk about the video game from 2007 called Ratatouille, which is based off, the movie called Ratatouille, which I'm sure y'all have heard about. In this game, we follow a lot of the same storyline as the movie with the same title. We play as Remy, a rat that only wants to cook, something that is quite ironic considering he was merely a rat, and it's something that is emphasized throughout his journey in the video game, and whatnot. But it begs the question whether cooking is Remy's only purpose in life. I mean, it seems he's already great at cooking. He just can't express it because of his own body. Now, this is hard to relate to. For one, we are not rats, and we are hopefully all living, breathing people. But secondly, it's debatable whether we all have that one purpose in life. As we get older, we tend to somewhat settle down. We find a stable career path that we are somewhat interested in and stick with it. That's how our world works. Most people, even younger people, find a main interest at some point in their lives. It could be video games, dancing, some form of sport, literally anything that could be dreamed of. That becomes our passion. We do those things for pleasure and enjoyment. Could that be part of our main purpose in life? If so, it is a major risk. Rather than finding a defining career path, we throw ourselves into a high-risk, low-reward situation. Instead of settling down, we instead do the opposite and push to have that job that falls in line with our passion. To a lot of people, this is worth it. Why rot away at an office job when you can follow your dreams? But this isn't just one purpose in life. We have many that build the foundation of who we want to be. Life isn't as simple as it is in movies and TV shows. We aren't one-dimensional characters with one goal or conflict. We have so many. The entertainment we indulge in, though, does not depict this. We are shown conflict, resolution. It always works out in the end, when in the real world it doesn't. When trying to help people, it's so easy to meld down all their problems into one central thing, without realizing that there's so much other stuff happening in their lives. Also, thoughts and feelings change over time. This may all sound so simple, but it's harder to understand when talking to a real person that they have just as many thoughts and feelings as you. This doesn't mean we don't lack empathy, more that we can't understand what a person is feeling and can't fully grasp onto it. This isn't the fault of either party involved. It's insanely difficult for a writer to add so much depth and feeling to a character, and it's difficult for us to understand everyday people. This is just how the world works. We tend to hyperfixate on something for a short period of time and then move on. This can be forms of entertainment, such as video games, TV shows, or movies, but also the people in our lives. What and who we surround ourselves with determines how we act. It's just the nature of it. This can lead us to do relatively stupid and risky things that could either benefit us or cause immense amount of pain. It's all part of our dreams, to one day be like the person on TV, or to be as cool as the main character in a video game, or to be with someone special. Now, that begs the question as if this hyperfixation is even healthy to begin with. Theoretically, it should be. Most of the time, the people who we're inspired by are good people and can teach us a lot of good things. But there's a negative side to this, where we compare our current selves to that good person and feel bad. We start to feel like we are not good enough and are so far away from achieving our goal to become that good of a person. This is a large part in causing a lack of self-confidence. You may feel like you are better than most people around here, but can't quite be as good as that special person. To most people, they can overlook this. Oh well, it's hard to be perfect. But to a small minority, it is soul-crushing. We are told our entire lives that achieving perfection is impossible, and although that is technically true, it doesn't mean it is not to be reached for. When we describe someone as perfect, we overlook the most minute of flaws and say they're objectively amazing at everything they do. This is a change of the main definition of being perfect. We have to have that change in order to measure a person's worth with that reference. Obviously, those who strive for perfection don't actually think they'll be 100% without flaws. They just want to live up to that person they're inspired by the most. So is that the main purpose in life? Not necessarily. Once again, a large group of people do not feel the need to be perfect. They're content living their lives just the way it is. A different group, however, do certainly feel that way, will work towards that until they reach their breaking point. To reach the breaking point is one of the worst things to ever experience in life. Suddenly, everything that's been built up for feels like it's been for nothing at all. We close ourselves up inside a small room filled to the brim with negative thoughts. In theory, we should be happy, right? We worked hard enough to even get to the point where perfection is achievable. So why aren't we? Again, it's the things we surround ourselves with. We set expectations for ourselves from what others do. That is just the reality of it. Important to keep in mind, though, that a lot of the people we compare ourselves with in our own fields are maybe just more passionate about it. Maybe they work harder, or analyze more, or practice more. They must be doing something to reach the point where they are at, right? I recall back to the kids in a lot of our classes that didn't study at all, fell asleep in class, never did the homework. List goes on forever. Those same people would still never fail to get a 100% on the test the next day. I can't begin to explain this form of phenomenon. This sort of contradicts a lot of what I've talked about here. The only thing that I can say is that some people are just naturally better than others. Maybe their brain is just wired differently or something, but they will always be better because they were just born that way. This doesn't feel fair, but it's the truth. Surely with enough time and dedication, we can reach the point that these lucky people are at. However, there's that gaping feeling that you should have been there from the start. Anyways, game was kind of fun. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.